All right, let's peel back the layers on something truly impactful today. Automotive eCall systems. When I first dug into the sources, what really struck me was um, how much more these systems are than just a simple SOS button. So our mission is to explore why they're becoming so critical for road safety,
Yeah.
what the significant bumps in the road are, and maybe look at what the future holds.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to just understand eCall at its core. It's essentially an automatic alert system, straight to emergency services after a crash. But it's more than just a call, right? It sends vital data,
Yeah.
like real-time location, vehicle condition.
Crucial details.
Exactly. Details that can shave precious minutes off rescue time. Sometimes, that's the difference between life and death.
And that difference, that's really what's driving this huge growth we're seeing.
Mhm.
Our sources definitely point to a worrying rise in road accidents and fatalities because help just arrives too late sometimes.
Precisely. And that reality has made eCall a really crucial safety feature now. And you have to connect this to the bigger picture, like government mandates. They've played a massive role.
Like in Europe.
Exactly. The EU's 2018 mandate. That wasn't just red tape. It was a fundamental shift. They estimated it could cut emergency response times by, 40–50% in rural areas? That's huge.
Wow, that's a direct link between policy and saving lives.
Absolutely. And these mandates, they're pushing the car makers, the OEMs, to integrate eCall into all new vehicles, not just the luxury ones anymore. It fits right in with, more cars on the road due to urbanization, rising incomes, plus this growing awareness about safety inside the car. It's all part of that move towards smarter, safer, more sustainable travel.
Okay, it sounds almost like the perfect solution then, a real lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
But like any tech that's moving fast, the path isn't totally smooth, is it? Where are the real challenges, the hurdles?
Oh, definitely not smooth sailing. There are significant bumps. I'd say the hurdles fall into maybe two main areas: reliability and privacy.
Okay, reliability first.
Right. Think about how vital precise location is. Signal interference, GPS jamming. These are huge vulnerabilities. You know that frustrating moment when your car's GPS just dies in a tunnel?
Yeah, happens all the time.
Well, imagine that happening right after a crash. Rescue gets delayed because they just can't pinpoint the vehicle accurately. It's a nightmare scenario. Then there's the cost. Integrating this stuff isn't cheap, especially for the makers of lower-cost cars working on tighter margins.
The economics.
And infrastructure issues, too. In some places, there just aren't enough public safety answering points, the PSAPs, those dispatch centers ready to handle the calls. And then, the elephant in the room, data privacy.
Right. These systems are sending out location data, vehicle data.
Constantly. It's essential for safety, yes, but it does raise those big questions about personal freedom, surveillance. Not easy answers there.
That is quite a list. If you had to pick maybe the single biggest hurdle right now, what stands out?
Tough call. But I'd probably lean towards the combination of infrastructure and network compatibility, the phasing out of older 2G and 3G networks. Many existing eCall systems rely on those.
Oh, right. So they need upgrading.
Massively, which hits both the reliability of current systems and the cost of putting new ones in, especially when you factor in how ready the PSAPs are globally. It's pretty fundamental.
Fascinating. Okay, so with all these challenges, what's the future look like? Where's eCall heading?
The future is definitely moving towards what's called next generation eCall, or NG-eCall, powered by 4G and 5G. Think of it like upgrading from just a basic voice call to potentially a real-time video feed for first responders.
So they can actually see the scene.
Potentially, yeah. Or get initial diagnostic data, vehicle damage, maybe even passenger vital signs before they even arrive. Much richer information. We're also seeing more integration with cloud telematics, with AI platforms.
Making it smarter.
Exactly. Real-time analysis, maybe even predicting crashes, coordinating responses much more smoothly. And it's no surprise adoption is speeding up in EVs and luxury cars. It's becoming, indispensable for connected, intelligent mobility.
This deep dive really highlights how eCall is changing road safety, even with the challenges it faces now. It seems poised to be just part of how we get around in the future.
Which really raises an important question for you to think about. As these eCall systems get even more integrated with AI, with connectivity, what new possibilities, but also what new ethical questions might come up. For your personal safety, sure, but also for your privacy in the car you drive every day. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into a topic that's incredibly important, but maybe doesn't always get the spotlight: the automotive eCall market. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission really is to dig into the insights from our source, the future of automotive e-call, global market trends, which comes from cognitive market research. We want to explore the huge growth, what's driving it, and how this safety tech is playing out across the world. And this isn't just another gadget in your car, right? It feels like a fundamental shift in how we think about vehicle safety.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It really is a game changer for road safety. And what's interesting, I think, is how this technology, maybe it seems a bit niche, it's actually having this massive impact on emergency response times
Yeah.
and, ultimately on saving lives. We're looking at a market that's already, well, grown quite a bit and is set to extend even more. Fundamentally, eCall means an automatic emergency call. So picture this. There's a serious crash. Maybe you're unable to call for help yourself. The system in the car automatically contacts emergency services. It sends crucial data like your exact location, the time, even which way the car was headed. It's designed to get help to you fast, even if you can't ask for it.
That's incredible, like a silent guardian, really. So given that kind of impact, what are the actual numbers telling us? How big is this market and where is it headed?
Yeah, the figures definitely show its importance and its rapid growth. So the global automotive eco market, it started just over, $3 billion back in 2021, about $3,067 million. By 2025, it had already climbed past $4.1 billion, $4,124.97 million to be precise. And looking ahead, the forecast for 2033 is pretty substantial. It's expected to nearly double again, hitting almost $7.5 billion, $7,459.8 million. That kind of sustained growth translates to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 7.7%, 7.687% just between 2025 and 2033.
Wow. Okay, those are some serious numbers, a really strong expansion. So what's fueling this growth? What are the main things pushing the market forward like this?
Well, there are three main drivers, and they're sort of interconnected. First, you've got increasing government regulations. A lot of regions are realizing how vital e-call is for saving lives and are starting to mandate it in new vehicles, kind of like how airbags became standard.
Right, yeah.
Second, there's a real and growing demand from consumers. People want safer cars. They're more aware now. So features like eCall aren't just optional extras anymore. They're becoming key selling points. And third, it's the integration of connected car technologies. eCall really leverages this trend of cars being constantly connected, sending data, communicating. That makes it much more feasible and, frankly, much more effective. So these three things, regulation, consumer demand, and tech integration, they really work together.
Okay, so regulation, demand, and the underlying connected tech. It makes sense they'd feed off each other. Out of those three, which one do you think might be the most underestimated, maybe, in its long-term impact?
That's a really good question. Regulations obviously give that big initial push, but I'd argue the integration of connected car technologies might be the one we underestimate long term. It goes beyond just making the call. Think about the data crash severity, how many people are in the car, pinpoint location accuracy. As vehicles get smarter and link up with smart city infrastructure with emergency services, that data becomes revolutionary for managing accidents, from dispatch all the way to the hospital. It turns eCall from just a distress signal into like a vital node in this bigger safety network.
That really does shift the perspective, thinking of it as a data hub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Watching how this plays out globally, it's like you said, different regions, different stories. How does that global growth actually break down when we look region by region?
It is fascinating. The diversity is quite something. Let's do a quick tour, shall we? North America, for example. It's showing significant growth, set to more than double its market size by 2033, reaching over $2 billion. So from around $890 million in 2021 up to $2,065 million. That's a CAGR of about 7.1%.
Okay.
The U.S. is clearly the biggest chunk of that, forecasted over $1.6 billion.
Right.
But interestingly, Canada actually has the highest growth rate in the region, an 8.4% CAGR, hitting about $238 million. Yeah. Mexico's contributing nearly $200 million, too.
So Canada's adopting faster proportionally. Interesting. What about Europe?
Europe is a huge player. It started bigger, almost $1.2 billion in 2021. And it's forecast to reach over $2.8 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR about 7.4%. And the big reason, it's mandated there. All new cars must have eCall.
Ah, the mandate effect.
Exactly. That regulation really drove things. You've got major contributions from France, Germany, the UK, each around the $300 to $400 million mark. But here's another interesting point. The rest of Europe category, so countries outside those big ones, actually shows the highest growth rate within Europe, over 8.8% CAGR. So widespread adoption.
Okay, so the mandate worked and it's spreading fast even beyond the biggest economies there. What about Asia Pacific?
Asia-Pacific is really emerging as a major growth engine. The forecast shows it growing from roughly $583 million in 2021 to over $1.5 billion by 2033. That's a really robust CAGR of over 8.5%. China leads in market size, expected to hit $443 million. Japan's significant too, around $285 million.
And India, you mentioned high growth there earlier.
Yes, India really stands out. It has the fastest CAGR in the APAC region, projected at over 9.3%, reaching nearly $228 million. That signals a rapidly expanding market. And again, the rest of APAC's category shows an even higher growth rate, soaring at over 10.5% CAGR. So yeah, massive growth across that whole region.
Wow, okay, so APAC is definitely a hot spot. What about South America?
South America is showing healthy expansion too. It's expected to grow from about $211 million to nearly $560 million by 2033. That's another strong CAGR, around 8.6%. Brazil leads the way there, forecasted about $166 million. But Argentina and the rest of South America are also showing really strong gains, with the rest of SA hitting almost 9% CAGR.
So solid growth across the board there too. Middle East?
The Middle East is expanding steadily. Projected to grow from around $116 million to about $246 million by 2033. Saudi Arabia is the main market, forecast around $85 million. The UAE is growing steadily too, about 7.4% CAGR.
Okay. And finally, Africa. You hinted at something special there.
Yes, Africa. This region really stands out. It's actually the fastest growing region globally for eCall.
Really? Faster than APAC?
Yes, based on the CAGR. It's set to climb dramatically from about $77 million in 2021 to nearly $248 million by 2033. That's an impressive CAGR of over 10.8%.
Wow.
Nigeria and South Africa are key markets, expected around $52 million and $83 million respectively. But mirroring the trend elsewhere, the rest of Africa is projected to lead the continent in growth rate with an even higher CAGR of over 11.2%. So it signals this potent mix of, rising vehicle sales and a growing focus on safety tech in emerging economies there. What's fascinating here is the sheer diversity in how different parts of the world are embracing this technology. It really underscores the global nature of this shift.
Absolutely. Mandates in one place, rapid organic growth in others, different economic drivers. It's a complex but really clear picture of global adoption. It reinforces that safety is universal, but the path looks different everywhere. So zooming out from all those regional details, what does this all really mean for the future of driving? What's the big picture takeaway here?
I think the big takeaway is that the automotive e-call market is becoming, a fundamental, non-negotiable part of the connected car world. It's becoming a critical pillar. As governments push for it and consumers expect it, e-call isn't just a feature anymore. It's foundational. We're seeing the definition of vehicle safety evolve. It's not just about airbags and crumple zones, the passive stuff. It's about these active, connected systems that automate critical help. With everything accelerating the tech, the rules, the adoption e-call is rapidly becoming standard. It's changing the baseline for what we consider a safe car. It's undeniable. The growth and the global reach are massive. It's cementing e-call's role in road safety. This raises an important question, though, for you to think about. Given how quickly e-call is being adopted, how it's redefining safety as standard, what other safety features, maybe emergency response innovations powered by connected tech, what else might become mandatory? Not just something car makers have to include, but something they need to compete on. And maybe sooner than we think.
That's a great question to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the automotive e-call market. We hope exploring this helps you reflect on how these safety standards are changing things, how they might impact your own driving experiences, or even how cars are designed and interact with emergency services. We really appreciate you spending this time with us, and we look forward to our next exploration.